Here are some harsh realities about Hitler's regime that should be acknowledged.
Adolf Hitler is widely recognized as one of the most ruthless and reviled figures in history, primarily due to his leadership of Nazi Germany during the 1930s and 1940s. His notoriety stems from a complex web of actions and policies that had devastating consequences for millions of people. Here's an expanded view of why Hitler is considered one of history's most ruthless figures. 1. The Holocaust. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Hitler's rule was the orchestration of the Holocaust, a systematic and industrialized genocide. Approximately 6 million Jews, along with millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents, were brutally and systematically murdered in concentration and extermination camps. The Holocaust stands as one of the darkest and most horrifying events in human history. 2. Aggressive expansion. Hitler's expansionist ambitions led to the invasion of neighboring countries, such as Poland, which triggered World War II. This conflict resulted in massive suffering, destruction, and loss of life on a global scale. The war altered the course of history and left indelible scars on nations and societies. 3. Totalitarian regime. Hitler established a totalitarian regime characterized by intense state control. Dissent and free expression were brutally suppressed, and a cult of personality surrounded him. His regime extended its control into all aspects of life in Nazi Germany, instilling fear and conformity among the population. 4. Propagating hate. Hitler and his regime promoted hateful and racist ideologies. They propagated the notion of Aryan supremacy and anti-Semitism. Hitler's rhetoric and policies fueled hatred and division both within Germany and internationally. The consequences of this ideology are felt to this day. 5. Destruction and ruin. Under Hitler's leadership, European cities and regions were devastated. The war led to widespread death and suffering, and entire cities were reduced to rubble. The reconstruction of Europe after the war was a monumental task that took years to accomplish. 6. Persecution of minorities. Beyond the Jewish population, Hitler's regime targeted various minority groups. This included the persecution and extermination of Romani people, disabled individuals, and LGBTQ+ individuals. The suffering and loss of life among these groups were staggering. 7. War crimes. Nazi forces, operating under Hitler's command, committed numerous war crimes and atrocities. These included the massacre of civilians, the use of forced labor, and gruesome experiments on prisoners in concentration camps. The horrors that occurred in these camps are etched into the collective memory of humanity. 8. Long-lasting consequences. Hitler's actions had far-reaching consequences that extended beyond World War II. The division of Germany into East and West, the onset of the Cold War, and the establishment of international institutions like the United Nations were all influenced by the aftermath of Hitler's regime. Hitler's name is associated with unparalleled cruelty and the darkest chapter of the 20th century. His actions and the atrocities committed during his time in power serve as a stark reminder of the importance of preventing such horrors in the future and striving for peace, tolerance, and respect for human rights.